Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chicago Scholars Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us this evening. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are turned off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of multiple different sessions happening this evening, so please be sure to stick around for more later tonight. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Chicago Scholars. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter of the evening, and that's going to be the University of Tampa.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Let me go ahead and share my screen and get my timer going in this short and sweet time that we have together. So my name is Veronica. I'm the admissions representative for the University of Tampa. Really excited to paint a picture of UT for you in this short time that we have. So just background information, we are a private institution, meaning it's the same cost for in-state and out-of-state tuition. We're independent, so we don't have a religious affiliation, and we are considered a medium-sized school. So roughly 9,600 students, not too big, not too small. We're in a very unique urban environment, but we have a campus feel. So I like to say you get to experience the best of both worlds. You have that tight-knit campus community and that accessibility to the city, which offers many great opportunities from events and entertainment to internship and careers down the road. So just a few of the fun things that our students are able to participate in within walking distance. There is a lot for students to take advantage of. Some of my personal favorites highlighted here: the Riverwalk, Curtis Hickson Park, Gasparilla Pirate Invasion Festival every January, and of course our three major sports teams who have been doing really well in recent seasons. We're back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, so it's been a really exciting year overall. There's a lot to do and see within the Tampa Bay community, and like I said, we're about 5 minutes walking distance to a majority of these events. We're really fortunate to have a very diverse student body in a lot of different aspects, not only socioeconomically and ethnically, but geographically speaking as well. So we have all 50 states represented, over 135 different countries, and our average student is coming about 1,000 miles away from home. So coming from further away from the Chicagoland area, you're definitely not alone. I myself am originally from the Chicagoland area, an alumni of UT, so I made that transition further away from home as well. So switching gears, just to highlight our academics, our average class size is 22 students with a 17-to-1 student to faculty ratio. 96% of our classes have 40 students or fewer, and 90% of our faculty have their PhD or terminal degree. So you're being taught by the best of the best. They know their stuff. We don't have any graduate assistants teaching here, and you have that intimate classroom experience where you can really develop a relationship with your professor. We have over 200 different areas of study to choose from, so there's something for everyone. You can double major, major and minor in fields that are unrelated. And something that really sets us apart is we have a strong focus on experiential education. So hands-on learning, taking what you learn in the classroom, applying it to a real-world scenario. Many of our classrooms are designed for that hands-on learning, and that'll vary from department to department. But as I mentioned, that downtown is a great feature for our students to lock down those internships and get that undergraduate hands-on experience throughout their time here at UT. We are a Division II school. We're part of the Sunshine State Conference if you're a student athlete interested in playing at the D2 level. If not, we also have club teams, intramurals, plenty of different ways to stay active and have that sense of camaraderie, and over 200 different clubs and organizations. Some fun ones that are pretty unique to this region: we have Hammock Club, Scuba and Snorkeling Club, beach clubs. You might not find those at every school. When it comes to applying to the University of Tampa this fall, when most applications become available to you in August, you'll just need to apply. You can apply in one of three ways: the Common App, UT app, or Coalition app. All of those are treated equally. And send us your essay, a letter of recommendation, and your official high school transcript. We are test optional, so you don't have to worry about an SAT or ACT score. You fill out your application, send those 3 additional materials, and aim for whichever deadline you would like. I personally encourage students to apply for Early Action 1, hit that November 15th deadline. So get all your materials together this fall, apply by November 15th. That way the turnaround time is very quick. You hear an update by December 20th. We're rolling admission, meaning space becomes more limited the longer that you wait. And all of these deadlines are non-binding. So I strongly encourage you to apply sooner rather than later. Also want to highlight this aerial photo of our campus so you can see that it's pretty self-contained. The river is right next to our campus and the downtown, just a 5-minute walk across the bridge. So like I said, it's a pretty unique setting. And then in terms of financial aid, we offer 92% of our students financial aid. We have merit scholarships, departmental scholarships, departmental scholarships. Of course, complete the FAFSA that becomes available to you every year on October 1st for federal aid. So plenty of different ways for you to apply and seek aid. You're automatically considered for merit-based awards. So never let a sticker price of a university scare you away. Go through the process, apply, utilize your admissions counselor as a resource, and they'll walk you through since this is a new process for everyone. Up here is my contact information if you want to take a screenshot, since I am the Illinois representative. That way we can stay connected. I will be traveling this fall, so I hope to meet many of you and keep posted on all of our virtual events happening as well. If you can't make it to something in person, we have a lot of departmental info sessions, open houses, all that fun stuff, even virtual tours on our website. So I look forward to seeing your application this fall. Thank you.
Thanks, Veronica. Next up, we are going to go to Bowdoin College.
All right, perfect. Good evening. My name is Jackie, and I am going to go ahead and get my slides going, which hopefully have gone. There we go. So I'm here to talk about Bowdoin College. We are a small liberal arts college located here in Brunswick, Maine. Just here's a map so that you can place us. We are, like I said, a small liberal arts college consisting of about 2,000 students. We are a primarily undergraduate institution, so we have absolutely no graduate schools. And as a small liberal arts college, we really do focus on that small liberal arts experience with small class sizes, personal relationships with professors, and so on. Here is a picture of our quad in the fall. This is our main academic quad. Our campus is about 210 acres here in the state of Maine. So it's networked, as you can see, by busy paths that are normally occupied with students who are biking, walking to their dining halls, or heading off to class. Brunswick, Maine is an incredible place to go to school. And if we had longer than 6 minutes, I would normally say that we can't talk about Bowdoin without talking about Maine in the same breath. This is the Brunswick downtown, where we have plenty of cafes, dining opportunities, grocery stores, and an Amtrak station that takes our students right down to Boston. There's an incredible wealth of eateries and choices down here, and we really believe that bringing students here to Maine means intentionally allowing them to engage with our community, either by visiting, of course, our downtown friends, or going into the outdoors. This is a picture from the Schuler Coastal Study Center. The Schuler Coastal Study Center is 120 acres on the coast of Maine, where we do research into things like climate change and other pieces of scientific research. It's a really phenomenal place for us to hone in on environmental studies, which is one of the areas in which we're highlighting, and is just a really amazing place to learn here at the college. You can see here, we welcome students from all over the country and from all over the world, primarily through the Portland Jetport, which is how students come to us, but we really do welcome students from across the globe to study here on the coast of Maine. Primarily, what I really like to talk about, though, is why we do what we do and why we offer the kind of education that we offer. This is a picture of Joseph McKean. He was the first president of Bowdoin College when we were founded over 200 years ago. And his philosophy about Bowdoin was that we were founded not just for the good of the students who were able to attend, but that we were founded to benefit the common good. What we mean by the common good is that we really seek to cultivate an environment that's collaborative. We really focus on collaboration over competition here. You'll find that our classes really focus on not just what you're learning, but how you're learning it, with a real focus on working together, seminar style classes in which 16 students come together over a round table to have a conversation about that day's materials. And as previously discussed, to really have those hands-on experiences with professors in your subject areas. This is another picture from the coast of Maine with some students who are clearly, hopefully, doing some lab work and going to class. I'll take up a couple of minutes just to talk about what we look for in the college application. Here's our what we call our not so secret formula. So first off on the left, we look for grades. We are looking for evidence when we read your college application of students who will be academically successful here at the college. What you don't see listed here is test scores. Bowdoin went test optional in 1969. We were the first college or university in the country to do so. And we've been reading applications without test scores for more than 50 years. What we look for in your transcript is evidence of academic rigor and an ability to stand up to that rigor and to do well, and so that we can project success in our academic curriculum here at the college. On, of course, the right, you will see heart. I always address the right side of the pie diagram by just saying that what we asked in the committee room is what kind of roommate will you be when you get here? We are a really small school. Each class is about 500 students. And so we try to bring students in with intentionality to see what they'll be bringing here to our community. What you don't see in the pie chart is family income. We are an institution that is fully need blind in the admissions process. And that means that me, as your Illinois college representative, has no idea whether or not your family can afford the Bowdoin education, nor will it ever impact your admissions decision. We are a school that meets 100% of demonstrated need with absolutely no loans packaged within that. What that means very simply is if your family is determined through your financial aid application to only be able to contribute, let's say, $5,000 to a Bowdoin education that costs well over $70,000, that remaining gap will be filled in, that $65,000 will be filled in fully with grants that never has to be repaid. So the three things that you should remember about our student aid are, again, that we are need blind, we meet 100% of demonstrated need, and we do not package loans with our student aid. In the last few seconds that I have, I just wanted to highlight the offer of the college, which is a poem written by the 7th president of the college and as part of our supplement. We asked students to reflect upon one of the lines of this writing for their supplement, but it really foundationally, I think, expresses what we hope to offer to our students in their 4 years here at the college. So with that, I will go ahead and stop sharing. There we go, and hand it off to one of my colleagues.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have Dickinson College.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rylan Good, and I'm serving as the Director of International Admissions here at Dickinson College in Pennsylvania. But I also work with our Illinois students. So I have Illinois and international, so I guess they're just giving me the eyes. But I use he, him, his pronouns, and I just wanted to point out that I am also a first-generation college student, which I know that many of you are as well. So in my 5-ish minutes here with you tonight, I want to talk about really what makes Dickinson different. Because I think that it's a stressful process to go through as you're looking at different schools, they all start to kind of sound the same. So very briefly, here are some statistics about Dickinson that you'll probably hear from other schools. We have an 8-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Your average class size is 14 students per class. We have 45 different majors here at Dickinson. But again, these are things that you can find on our website. And so I don't want to spend too much time on that tonight. I really want to talk about two main things that whenever you think about Dickinson, I really want you to think about. So the first thing is our focus and leadership within global engagement. And so even though we call Carlisle, Pennsylvania home, we actually operate 18 of our own programs all around the world. So this means we have faculty and staff all around the world ready to engage the communities that they're in. So maybe you want to go down to Argentina or to Moscow, Russia, or to Cameroon, Africa, or to New Zealand. Our students do that. At about a 65% rate, Dickinson students leave Carlisle and travel the world. So if you know that you want to travel in your 4 years of college, Dickinson is the place for you. If you're thinking about sciences, almost 50% of our STEM majors study abroad. Maybe you play a sport, so about 60% of our student athletes study abroad. So because we operate our own programs around the world, there are no barriers for you to study abroad. And actually 67% of our students of color at Dickinson study abroad, which is something that I'm really proud of. So that's landed us in the #2 spot on Princeton Review for most popular study abroad programs. But maybe you decide, like Rylan, I don't want to study abroad, and that's okay. But we still want you to have a global experience. And so one of kind of the unique requirements at Dickinson is that we do require all of our students to study a world language. And Dickinson was actually the first college in the United States to offer modern world languages back in 1790. And I recognize that some of you may be coming from high schools that only offer 1 or maybe 2 languages. But Dickinson is proud to offer 13 different languages. And so we believe that we want you to graduate from Dickinson as a global citizen with experiences in a different culture, a different language, or interacting with students from all around the world. And so about 15% of our student population are coming from outside of the United States, which is something that we're very proud of. So global engagement is the first thing I want you to think about whenever you think about Dickinson. The second thing that I want you to think about is this idea of sustainability. Even though last year was a really wonky year, Dickinson is proud to say that last year we became one of only 10 colleges and/or universities in the entire world to go carbon neutral, Bowdoin being another one. And so last year we decided and we reached our milestone of not contributing to climate change. And so that's been a big part of the reason that we've landed in the #1 spot for sustainability. And that's because I think that your generation thinks about what your world is going to look like in 5, 10, 15 years. And we think thinking about that is really important, but doing something about it is even more important. And so part of our sustainability efforts, my favorite part of our campus is about 6 miles off campus. Dickinson owns and operates a 180-acre organic certified farm. And so our students are growing over 100,000 pounds of organic produce. I know in Chicagoland, you love your pizza, and I do too. And so we have a brick oven where our students will cook and bake artisan pizzas using ingredients from the farm. Your language professors will take you out to the farm and teach cooking lessons in the language, but then also using ingredients from the farm. So if I were to recommend one Instagram account to follow of Dickinson, it would not be the main account. It would be the Dickinson College Farm for some of the best food and also the cutest animals here in Carlisle. And so global engagement, sustainability are at the core values of our institution. So if those values match up with you, then I think Dickinson's a great institution for you. And this is where we eventually want to get you. So we want you to be working and leading at the organizations in front of you. If you're thinking about law school or medical school, we've hit exceptionally high rates of 94 and 95% acceptance rates. We're a top 10 Fulbright and Peace Corps volunteer producing college. And so Dickinsonians go out into the world and they change the world for the better. And so that's really what we're looking for in our admissions and financial aid process. Dickinson has early decision 1 and early decision 2, and also regular decision. Very similar to Bowdoin, we went test optional a very long time ago. So for this past year, we actually went test blind. So for the class of 2025, I saw 0 of our students' standardized test scores because quite frankly, they don't represent who you are. And for Dickinson, we offer $15,000 to $35,000 in academic scholarships. And very similarly, we also meet 100% of demonstrated financial need. So we want to make a Dickinson education affordable no matter where you're coming from or what socioeconomic status that you're coming from. And so with that, I'm going to stop sharing and pass it to my next colleague.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have Providence College.
Hi, everyone. I am thrilled to be here with you tonight. My name is Megan O'Rourke. I am the Associate Dean for Midwest Recruitment at Providence College. And fun fact about me, I am actually based in the Chicagoland area. So I live in Oak Park amongst all of you. As Rylan mentioned, we do love our pizza. We can't help it, right? We're in Chicago, but tavern style pizza, Rylan, not just deep dish, okay? Make sure you try that the next time you're here. So what I want to do tonight is talk you through just some general information about PC, about Providence College. We share some similarities with our colleagues at Dickinson and Bowdoin, so you'll hear some things that sound familiar to you. And hopefully as we go, if you have questions, you can kind of stop me and let me know if you need something. So let me share my screen with you and I will get this in full screen mode. So oops, sorry guys. Okay. So let me start by saying Providence College is a little bit different from our counterparts in that we are a Catholic institution. We're a Dominican institution. A little bit older, or excuse me, a little bit newer in terms of the campus. We're in an older part of the country. Rhode Island is one of the oldest states. Providence, the city, is one of the kind of older cities in the country. But as a campus, we've been around since 1917. And I think a lot of students, especially if they aren't Catholic or they weren't raised in a religious household, they get nervous about what the Catholic and the Dominican thing means. I would say this: we have plenty of students on campus who are Catholic and plenty who aren't. For us, I think the way that the kind of Catholic and Dominican identity manifests itself is in a couple of different ways, which we will get to in just a little bit. Population wise, we're a little bit bigger than our friends at Dickinson and Bowdoin. So we're just under 4,200 undergraduate students. And then we have just under 5,000 total students on campus. So a great balance of knowing a lot of people, but not knowing everyone. Our average class size is 22. So there's a lot of room for engagement and dialogue as you go through your time in the academic experience that is Providence College. One thing that we're really proud of is our retention rate. So students from their first year to their second year, 91% of them are coming back. And we think that speaks to the kinds of opportunities that are available to you at PC. Now, we too are a liberal arts school. So that core curriculum, those classes that really kind of hone in on your critical thinking, your problem solving, your synthesizing skills, your communication skills when it comes to writing, getting up and giving presentations, all of those classes are built into your program, regardless of what you study. You can see on the screen, these are our majors and our minors. And I think a lot of students, come to PC with a lot of different academic interests. That's one of the best parts about it. So you have some great fine arts programs, health policy and management, education, social work, business is something that we're known for. It's a question we get all the time. Public and community service studies. We were actually the first school in the country to offer a program like that. So you have a lot of options. And some of you might be sitting there saying, Megan, that's all well and good, but I don't know what I want to do. One of the best parts about a liberal arts school is the ability to be flexible. And for us, for undeclared students, which is what we call it, you have so many great resources to help get you to the point of selecting something that makes a lot of sense for you, but that you're also super passionate about. I think this would be the point that I would want you to know, that learning isn't just taking place in the classroom. Rylan touched on this a lot with the global piece of their program. And I think that's true for a lot of institutions. We want you to take advantage of all of these really great opportunities that kind of supersede or are tied to the classroom setting, but not necessarily specifically a classroom experience. One of those at PC is our honors program. So you're taking additional classes. There's an honors study abroad program for you to choose to go to. Great opportunities to do thesis projects, research, internships, all that kind of fun stuff. We have a lot of students who pursue research with faculty. There's a big program that happens over the summer that you can take advantage of. We too are a school that is a top producer of Fulbright students. And that's a big thing for us, especially schools our size. I think it's a testament to the kind of learning that is happening on campus. And then for those of you not interested in research or things like that, there are career relevant opportunities to take advantage of. It's a benefit of being in a city like Providence. Lots of great options for study abroad, and your financial aid comes with you. So that's a huge part of making sure that the financial aid piece of this is affordable, that you can just bring that with you no matter what program you choose from. There's over 300 to choose from. Life on campus is pretty vibrant and dynamic. The city itself provides a lot of stuff to do. It's a really awesome city. Kind of neighborhoods a little bit like Chicago has. It's on the water. Rhode Island as a state has like over 400 miles of coastline. For such a small state, we're doing pretty good with that, right? But it is affordable. It's about an hour from Boston, 3 hours away from New York City. So for those of you that are looking to go a little farther away, this is going to be a great option. Involvement on campus, though, is going to look kind of across the board at a lot of different opportunities. So we encourage you to take advantage of what you can, because I think there's a lot of really cool things that you can do in your time as a student. Now, let me talk briefly about the admission process. We too are test optional. So we really focus on your admission process or your academic record when we review your application. So keep that in mind. That's really the kind of the key component of our process. Scholarships are all done through that. And your essay is going to be my favorite part of the review. So if you have questions, I'm going to pop my info in the chat. Thank you all so much for joining us this evening, and I'll look forward to chatting with you soon.
Thanks, Megan. Next up, we are going to hear from St. Michael's College.
Right. Share my screen here. All right, welcome everyone. My name is Stella Santos. I am an assistant director of admission at St. Michael's College. I use she, her pronouns. It's really nice to speak with you all in the limited amount of time that we have. So I'm really excited to talk to you today about St. Michael's College. As you can see, this is a really beautiful aerial shot of our wonderful campus. So we are so excited to tell you a little bit about it more. And you can see kind of how beautiful and I think it's very picturesque for Vermont. All right, so just a little bit about who we are. So we are an institution founded in 1904 by the Edmondites. So there were an order of priests that came here from France, and they really stand on the pillars of hospitality, of social justice, and of a liberal arts education. So they actually serve as some of our mentors here, and it's really great. It contributes to that aspect that they have on campus. A couple of other things as well. We are a liberal arts college and a fully residential college. So students are living at St. Michael's for all 4 years. That really contributes to the environment. If there's something going on a Wednesday or something going on a Saturday, you will be here. Students have a lot of really fun traditions on campus as you go from your traditional, dorm to your apartment later on. But people do love living there all 4 years and just really being a part of that community aspect. All right, and where are we? So we are in Burlington. Technically, St. Michael's College is located in Colchester, Vermont, but just a few minutes away from downtown Burlington. And Burlington is rated one of the best college towns. We have multiple universities there, amazing restaurants, internship opportunities for students, research opportunity for students, just a couple minutes away from our beautiful campus. And actually students are able to get there for free with their night card. And as you can see, you're really close to, different cities such as Boston, but a lot of students choose to go over the border into Canada and to explore Montreal. Right, so St. Michael's College is about 1,700 students, so we are a pretty tight-knit community. As you can see, we have about an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio. Our academic advising is all 1-to-1 and 18 average class size. So some of your classes may be a little bit larger. However, the majority of them are what we call seminar style. So that means you are never going to be just another number or another face to your professors. You are really getting that one-on-one advising. They know who you are, what you're interested in learning, what your dog's birthday is. They really get to know you, and students are just not left behind. And we are really proud of that. And we do offer free access to academic support services for all of our students. So you can tell we have over 40 majors here from this list. A lot of our students choose to major and minor or double major. Our colleagues kind of already emphasize the importance of a liberal arts education, getting to know all those analytical skills, preparing you for jobs that don't even exist yet. So we are really proud of that foundation, and that you'll be taking core classes, but also be taking your major classes and also electives and things that you might be interested to learn as well. All right, so we have a couple of what we call signature programs here. So we have, our sports. We are NCAA Division II. We have the Center for the Environment here, our own farm on campus. Students can volunteer, and then they also, the food that's produced goes to our dining hall. We have adventure sports because it is Vermont. So if you've ever wanted to try kayaking, ice climbing, any of that, they can teach you how to do that. We have a fire and rescue squad that operates all year round, and you are able to train for that as well. So we have a lot of things that students can participate in on campus, but also take it to a global experience and study abroad as well. So community, again, a big issue, a big factor. So that's, something we do on campus and also off. All right, so a little bit about our admissions criteria here. So we are on Common App, and we have these 3 different application deadlines. They're all early action. We are also, like many schools, test optional, and we have been that way for a pretty long time. So, please be sure to apply early, like some of my colleagues had said. We actually offer what's called SMC First Class if you apply early action. And if you do that, you actually do have the opportunity to take a college class for free before the end of your high school. And that's great. If that you come to St. Mike's, that transfers through. If you go to another college, that can, come in as well to another school. And I think that that's an awesome opportunity to kind of get a head start on your education. All right, just some next steps here. If you want to come and visit, I am the Illinois rep, so I will be traveling out to you. I'll put my info in the chat as well, but we do have virtual options as well as, coming to campus and taking a tour for yourself. And that is me. So thank you all so much for hearing my little spiel about St. Mike's.
Thanks, Stella. Next up, and our last school for the evening, is going to be George Washington University.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Connor Long. I'm one of the assistant directors of undergraduate admissions here at the George Washington University, located here in Washington, D.C. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen really quick. Awesome. So I really like to start speaking about GW by talking about our location in Washington, D.C. We have a fully integrated urban campus. What that means is that our campus consists of city blocks. They're not walled off from the rest of the community. And I think that's really indicative to the way that we run our student life and that we really allow our students to feel like they're one with the city while they're a student here at GW. One of my favorite things about being an urban campus is that you're able to point to a map and definitively say, this is GW. We are pretty limited to a 6x7 block rectangle, as you can see here highlighted on this map. And so that means when you're going to classes, you're not going to have to take a bus or a train between classes. Everything will be in walking distance, and you're really able to build that really tight-knit community campus feel within the awesome city that is Washington, D.C. When people talk about DC, they typically talk about some of the more popular buildings like the International Monetary Fund or the World Bank, which are essentially on our campus. Some people like to talk about the White House, just 4 blocks away from our campus as well. Washington, DC is really well known to be the nation stage for world politics. Our local news is everyone else's national news, which is a really great draw to the city itself. But you do not need to be interested in politics or have an interest in politics to come to Washington, DC or to come to GW to go to school. Ultimately, this will allow you to become a better citizen, to really know how to leverage your voice and to really make it convenient for you to be an activist within your own voice as well. So anytime that you want to go to a march on a national mall or to join a protest, that is an option here at GW. But GW in Washington, D.C. is really known to be located within a culturally connected city as well. Just a few minutes away by walking, we have the whole network of Smithsonian museums. And right across our campus, we have the John F. Kennedy Center for Performing Arts as well. It's a really great institution. Students are constantly going there for shows, operas, plays on the weekends, always at discounted prices for our students. And you'll see that the south side of our campus is also bordered by the National Mall, where the Lincoln Memorial and Washington Monument are. We're the only school in Washington, D.C. that allows our students to have graduation on the National Mall. So if anything, after your 4 years of coming to school at GW, it's going to be a really awesome kind of picturesque moment right in front of the Washington Monument there. Just to zoom into our campus a little bit here, our education is really looking to empower our students to take what they're learning inside the classroom and apply this to something applicable outside in the real world. This either means internships, part-time job opportunities, a lot. But what this also means is that your professors at GW will not just be people who have the knowledge to teach you, but who have the lived experiences and are working in really some amazing places around DC. A great example of this is the Elliott School of International Affairs, the Elliott building, as you can see here highlighted in the bottom right of our campus here. The Elliott School building is located right across the street, just literally an amateur football punt away from the U.S. Department of State building. You're going to be learning and engaging in this material while surrounded by the institutions that are actually going to be enacting the knowledge that is generated here. And you're going to be able to work hands-on throughout the career of your undergraduate career to be able to apply what you're learning to potentially a career later on. Another thing I wanted to highlight about our campus is the George Washington University Hospital. It's a tier 1 trauma hospital, one of the largest in the city. It's really great having a hospital on our campus, a great asset for all of our students studying the health sciences, but it's also great to have a hospital on our campus for all of our students in case you happen to be that one student that burns their hand making ramen at 3 o'clock in the morning. You could feel confident you could get yourself patched up right at the hospital. The GW Hospital is also home to our very own Metro stop. So this Metro stop right on our campus allows you to turn your GW experience into a DC experience at large. It really allows you to integrate yourself within the campus community, really provides you the convenience to explore the rest of the city, Northern Virginia, and Maryland as well. Now, I talked a little bit about our location within Washington, D.C. I do want to quickly acknowledge that we are on the lands of the Piscataway and Nacotchunk people at the George Washington University. We recognize and respect Indigenous peoples as traditional stewards of the land our institutions occupies and the enduring relationship that exists between Indigenous peoples and their traditional territories. A few statistics about the institution. So we are a medium-sized research university here at GW, consisting of about 11,000 undergraduate students. What's really great about our size is that we're actually academically split up amongst 7 different colleges at GW. When you apply to GW, you'll be applying to one of our 7 different colleges. And the real benefit for you as a student is that when you go to class, you're going to feel like you're going to a smaller liberal arts college. Your classes are going to stay small, around 29 students, 15-to-1 student-to-faculty ratio here at GW, while outside of the classroom, you have the larger, more robust social scene of an 11,000 student university. So it really is kind of best of both worlds here at GW. One of the most unique and my favorite things about our campus living and our student life is our dining here at GW. Our dining plan is very, very unique in the sense that we do not have any dining halls on our campus. The way that our meal plan works is that your student ID essentially becomes a debit card in which GW will load money onto every semester in the form of meal points. And you can spend these meal points at any of our 100 different restaurants, grocery stores, or food trucks on our campus. This includes everything from campus favorites like Chipotle and Chick-fil-A, all the way to grocery stores like Whole Foods and Safeway as well, if you wanted to buy groceries and cook your own food too. I think this is one of my favorite parts about campus because it really helps our students feel like they're living within the city. A lot of students go away for college and move out of state and spend 4 years going to a school, but not really feeling like they're part of the community. Here at GW, you're going to be eating at restaurants alongside locals. You're going to be engaging with the community while you're here as a GW student. I think it's really important to feel like you're living in Washington, D.C. while going to school at the same time. Not to mention the fact that you won't be eating at the same dining hall for 4 years, eating the same chicken tenders for 4 years. If you want to celebrate your birthday at the really fancy Japanese restaurant that's on our campus, that's on our meal plan as well. So really a lot of flexibility when it comes to the dining plan here. Like I mentioned before, when you apply to GW, you'll be applying to one of our 7 different colleges. Typically, students will pick the major that they're most interested in and apply to that college that the major is housed within. We're extremely flexible within the 7 college system. So if you ever wanted to double major across different colleges, have a minor across different colleges, you can. And you can also feel free to take classes in any of our 7 different colleges, regardless of what college or major you're in. So if you are a mechanical engineering major within the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences and decided to dabble in Judaic studies or Korean language arts, you can feel free to do so without having to even declare another major or a minor. So we're extremely flexible within this 7 college system here. I do want to highlight a few of our special academic programs we have on campus. A few of them, as you see here, they are programs that you do need to apply for when applying to GW, which is really important. First, we have the Civic House. The Civic House is a program where students are able to live with one another and really learn how to engage in community service efforts. And next, we have the Women's Leadership Program. It's a really awesome one-year only women's leadership program on our campus. And lastly, before I wrap up, we offer both early decision and regular decision here at GW, and we are also a test optional university like many of our colleagues. So with that, I'll stop sharing my screen and wrap it up. Thanks so much, folks.
Thank you, Connor. And now that we've heard from all 6 schools, I'd like to invite our panelists to join me to answer one question for everyone who's here. And if you guys can just answer in the order in which you presented in, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus? It could also be a fun fact about your school too. So We will start with our first school.
So fun fact about the University of Tampa, the building in my virtual screen, Plant Hall, there's a lot of history here. This was once a historic hotel back in the 1800s. So a lot of history in that academic building.
Perfect. My favorite tradition is the lobster bake that we open every single school year with. It's the first time that students all come back together, and we can, for the first time, see all of our students, all 4 classes, to kick off the night before classes start.
Dickinson, my favorite tradition or event is Calfsgiving. So we shut down the dining facility and we make a big Thanksgiving meal, and there's a ballroom dedicated to desserts. So it's a cool time for faculty, staff, students, and the president to come together and share a meal before everyone leaves for Thanksgiving break.
We love as colleges to like give you the opportunity for fun food. Don't, Jackie and Rylan, I'm coming to your campuses to hang out on those days. So at Perfect. I'll bring pizza. It'll be a party. Providence College, there's a couple. So there's a big like celebration right before men's basketball to kind of get everybody excited for the season. Midnight Madness is what we call it. And then I think this is really fun. There's a black and white ball. Our school colors are black and white. So it's basically like an all school dance. And I love that we do that as college students. So.
At St. Michael's College, during orientation, the new class unravels a giant purple and gold braided ball of yarn, and everyone kind of gets to keep a piece. So this just kind of symbolizes the connection that they've made to the college, and also signals any faculty, staff, if they ever see one or they're shown one, to kind of stop everything that they're doing and help them out. Also for upperclassmen, as they kind of like take on their next group. So I think that that's one of my favorite traditions about St. Mike's.
And here at George Washington University, our Multicultural Student Center and our affinity student organizations host a giant block party every year. We shut down an entire street called H Street that's in the middle of downtown DC. And frankly, we shut the whole city down for this as well. So it's a really awesome event. And yes, definitely what Megan said, don't turn down free food. Definitely look for those opportunities when you can.
Well, thank you all so much for sharing, and thank you everyone for joining us tonight. When you close out of this window, there'll be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. This was just one of multiple sessions being hosted tonight, so please be sure to sign up for more. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording, as well as all the other sessions recordings at stripescan.com/Chicago Scholars. Thank you all so much, and thank you to our wonderful panelists, and I hope everyone has a great evening.